As in, now we had started a brief introduction of organic chemistry. Uh, as a one thing that we did not discuss actually was we actually did discuss that. As a formulas, we talked about drawing the correct formulas. We talked about structural formulas, and I told you that any formula that shows the structure that is known as a structural formula. So you have uh, and I also explained that when you talk about structural formulas, then structural formulas are different from three-dimensional formulas. Three-dimensional formulas, they show you the actual angles, the shape of the molecule. A structural formula does not show you the shape of the molecule. It only shows you that which atom is bonded to which atom. So the hydrogen could be pointing upwards. This hydrogen over here could be pointing downwards. That doesn't really matter in a structural formula. So these two molecules are exactly the same. Okay, the direction of the bonds, whether you're making this hydrogen on the left or you're connecting this hydrogen to the bottom, that is irrelevant. These two molecules are exactly the same arrangement. They have the same connectivity. So this is what we discussed in the last class. So just one second. I said the other thing that we discussed about structural formulas was that there was another version which was your condensed formulas. Condensed formulas, there were two things, and we did an example of a condensed formula that a structural formula uh, can be represented in two ways. You can either show all the bonds, or you can show not all the bonds, but you can condense it. You can just show what atoms are bonded to carbons. You just go from left to right. The first carbon has three hydrogens, so that's CH3. The second one has one hydrogen, so that's CH. And branches are represented in brackets. So that's CH with this branch. So you're going to write CH2, CH3 branch. Then this carbon is CH2. Then you have this carbon, and there's an OH branch and a CH3 branch. So there's an OH branch and a CH3 branch, and so on. And I talked about one thing, which was that when you're writing structural formulas, this thing would be represented as CHO. Okay, that's one thing that you have to remember. You have to differentiate this. Never write it as OH because OH looks like an alcohol. Okay, if you remember alcohols from O levels, always write it as CHO. Achha, this was condensed version, and we're going to practice this a little bit more. And I'm going to add a thing over here. This one, this formula over here, this version of a structural formula. This is known as a fully displayed formula. So it's known as a fully displayed structural formula. I said remembering this is important because the question is going to ask you about this. I mean, the question is going to be very specific. What type of formula that you have to discuss? I mean, if there are two things reacting and you have to draw the product, the question is going to be very specific that you draw the fully displayed formula. If they say that you draw the fully displayed formula, that means every bond and every atom has to be shown. Needs. So every bond, every atom, it has to be shown in a fully displayed structural formula. If they just say that draw the structural formula, then you can draw a fully displayed. It's your choice. You can either draw a fully displayed or you can draw a condensed version of the formula. And there's just a few more examples of writing condensed formulas. Let's say we have a molecule. I'm going to draw a molecule, and there's this carbon with the. Let me draw a fully displayed formula. Every bond is going to be shown. So let's say this is my molecule. I'm going to draw the condensed version. To draw the condensed version, just move from left to right. Start condensing it. Just start following these carbon atoms. Okay, you could go from right to left as well. It doesn't really matter. Okay, but the convention is go from left to right. So the first one is C with 3 hydrogens. That's the first one. Then moving to the second one. The second one is C, but with 2 branches. There's an OH branch attached to it that's coming from the side, and there's another branch, a carbon branch that's on top of it. So write the branches in brackets. So there's an OH branch and there's a CH3 branch. And after that, move to the third carbon atom in the line. That's this one. This is C and then H. And there's this CN branch. Remember, H is never considered a branch. TK, H is just by default always there. So there's a CN branch. Put the CN branch in brackets. And after that, there's an O. Then you have a CO. And after that, you have another CO and OH. Okay, that's your carboxylic acid group. Hopefully, everyone knows that's the last ending part is a carboxylic acid. Okay, so you can. So that's a carboxylic acid. Uh, is this clear to everyone? Abba, is this clear? Rida, Hiba,
Yes.
Mazga, clear?
Yes, sir.
Achha, so and remember, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we will be practicing this a lot. Okay, structural, displayed, fully displayed, etc. I mean, this is all that we will be doing. Now, moving to the third type of structural formula, there's a thing called the skeletal formula. That's kind of tricky. Achha, the thing is, why did we why did we invent a condensed version? Because it was kind of quicker to write a condensed version rather than drawing all the bonds. Okay, drawing the fully displayed formula was time consuming to show all the bonds. Writing the condensed formula was kind of quicker. And now there's an even quicker way of writing organic molecules, and this is the formula that is usually followed. Okay, because this is the quickest way of writing an organic formula, and that's known as a skeletal formula. But writing the skeletal formula, you have to get used to it. A skeletal formula is also a version of a structural formula. And it's a very quick way of writing it's like a shorthand. Okay, so if you want to draw a molecule very very quickly, uh, you use a skeletal formula. Okay, this is K over here. Okay, so you always use a skeletal formula. Now, what is a skeletal formula? The first thing is the rules for writing the skeletal formula. No carbon or hydrogen atoms are shown. Okay, so you simply don't even draw them. No carbon hydrogen atoms are shown. Uh, the second thing is carbon and hydrogen bonds are also not shown. So what do you actually show? What is shown is the carbon carbon bonds are shown. Okay, so in a skeletal formula, the carbon carbon bonds are shown. That's one thing. And any functional group, like if you have an OH group or you have a carboxylic, I mean, you probably know what functional groups are. We're going to study them later. Uh, so any functional group is shown. Okay, for example, you have OH, that's an alcohol. You have NH2, that's an amine. You have carboxylic acids. So these groups are shown. So starting with this, and I'm going to explain this now. Let's think of a butanol molecule, 4 carbon atoms, and there's an OH. Do you remember we haven't done naming yet? So this is your. I said now this is your normal, fully displayed version of a molecule. I said there's actually one thing wrong. It's not a fully displayed. What's wrong if I want to make it fully displayed? Can anyone tell me why this is not a fully displayed?
OH can be ended.
ठीक है. I mean, remember this because if the examiner is asking for a fully displayed formula, you have to show every bond. ठीक है, even the OH bond has to be shown. I say, anyways, so this is the molecule. I want to draw a skeletal formula of this molecule. How would I draw a skeletal formula? Let me draw the molecule again. Then I'm going to do the working on that. TK again. I mean, this is OH. Achha, the first thing, if you read the points above, the carbon hydrogen bonds are not shown. So I'm going to remove all the carbon hydrogen bonds. They're gone. Achha, what is not shown? Carbon and hydrogen atoms are not shown. So get rid of the carbon atoms, right? That's also gone. What is shown? Carbon-carbon bonds are shown. So you're left with I mean, this is a carbon-carbon bond. This one is a carbon-carbon bond. There was a carbon over here, which I removed. And functional groups are shown. So the OH has to stay there. Achha, but the thing is, this molecule looks weird. What they do is, this is one bond, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to sort of make a zigzag line out of these bonds. Okay, and this, let's bring the OH over here. So I'm going to make, let's keep them together. I said this is how a skeletal formula would look like. And I'm going to explain this. Okay, I mean, you're going to draw zigzag lines. And what do the zigzag lines represent? I mean, the ends of the zigzag lines, although it won't be shown, but they are your carbon atoms. Okay, over here, this side, that's an oxygen and a hydrogen attached to it. So that's OH attached to it. But you're going to draw a zigzag line, and all the ends, all the nodes of that are your carbon atoms. So there are 4 carbon atoms in a line. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the 4th carbon atom, the end one, there's an OH group attached. The hydrogens are never shown. You can figure out the hydrogens on your own. Like this carbon atom right now is making 1 bond. So how many hydrogens should be attached to this carbon atom? There should be, like if I add in the hydrogens, there should be 3 hydrogens attached to it. I said then this carbon atom over here is making, right now it's making 2 bonds. So how many hydrogen atoms should be attached to it? There should be 2 hydrogen atoms attached to it. The next one is another carbon atom, and there would be 2 hydrogens attached to it. And this one is also making 2 bonds, so there would be 2 hydrogen atoms attached to it. So that's your skeletal formula. The red one is your skeletal formula. The hydrogens are not shown. Even the carbon atoms are not shown. What you just need to remember is that this zigzag line, the ends are your carbon atoms. Okay? Is this clear? Nida, is this clear? Minahil, clear?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. बाकियों clear? Abba, is this clear to you? Imran? Achha, what if?
Yes, sir.
So, what if the molecule was a bit longer? For example, it had branches in it as well. I said drawing this is really fast. I mean, you just have to draw a zigzag line. That's it. You just add in the functional group because every organic molecule is kind of pretty much the same. It's a bunch of carbon atoms connected together, and there's some functional groups that are attached to it. I said, anyways, so I'm going to pick the.
Sir, how do we show a double bond?
So what I'm going to do is, let's think of a way more complicated molecule. Okay, so you have a double bond. Okay, double bond is represented as a double bond. Okay, वो भी करते हैं. So there's C double bond O, and then there is so there's C double bond O, then there's O, then there's C, and then there's a branch of CH2, and then there's another. But let me draw the fully displayed version. CH2, and then there is CH3. अच्छा फिर there is C, H3. This one will have one H. This one will have one H, and let's say there's OH attached, another H attached. So I want to draw the skeletal formula of this molecule. So remember the zigzag line. Okay, that's all the carbon atoms connected together. So I'm going to mark how many carbon atoms. That's one. That's the second one. That's the third one. Then there's an oxygen in the middle. There's the fourth one, fifth, sixth. So all these carbon atoms. First, look at these three carbon atoms. I'm going to draw this line. So that's three carbon atoms in a line. That's one, two, and three. The first and the second one have a double bond in between. So put a double bond over there. Okay, that's so you got a double bond at that. So I've connected how many carbon atoms? I've connected one, two, and three carbon atoms. Then after that, there's an oxygen. So continue the zigzag line, but the next one would be an oxygen. An oxygen atom has to be shown. Okay, that has to be shown. Now after the oxygen, there's another carbon atom. So the zigzag line continues. So this end over here is another carbon atom, right? And at this carbon atom, the line is splitting into two separate chains. Okay, it's splitting into two separate chains. On one side, there are two carbon atoms. So I'm going to draw another carbon atom, and after that, there's another carbon atom. So two, I mean, it would be easier if you just put dots just to represent the carbon atoms. This was the point where the line was, where the chain was actually splitting. This carbon atom. So two carbon atoms, and then there's another carbon atom. So I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw another point like this. And did I miss any functional groups? Yeah, actually, I missed a functional group. Uh, Add in
Oh,
the function. There's an OH over here at the first one. Okay, so put an OH group over there. So there's going to be an OH group that's going to be there, and there's another double bond O that I missed. Okay, that's anything apart from the carbon and hydrogen has to be shown. So on the third carbon atom, there's a double bond O. So one, two, and this is the third one. So over here, there's going to be a double bond. So a double bond has to be shown. So there's an O. That's a double bond. So this is your skeletal formula for this molecule. Is this clear? Mirail, is this clear?
yes, sir.
ठीक है.
Yes.
बाकियों को रिदा हिबा आबा, is this clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. अच्छा, but this kind of requires some practice. ठीक है. So whenever you see a molecule, what you have to do is forget everything. Look at the focus on the carbon atoms. How are they connected? ठीक है. Think of the zigzag line with all the points on the zigzag line as carbon atoms, right? And ignore the hydrogens completely. ठीक है. Just focus on the carbon atoms. So let's try and do this for another molecule. Let's have a molecule of, there's OH and there's C and three hydrogens. And over here I have C, double bond O and OH. This one will have one hydrogens. So the skeletal formula of this molecule, okay, ignore everything, first focus on the carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the fifth one. So 4 are in a straight line. Okay, one of them on the second carbon atom, there's another one branching out. So 4 carbon atoms in a straight line zigzag. That's one. Sorry, two, third, and this is the fourth. Okay, that's it. Just for clarity, you can put dots over here. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4 carbon atoms in a straight line. And on the second carbon atom, there's another carbon atom branching out. Now my point is over here. This is my second carbon atom, so I'm just going to make it upwards. Okay, so that's the one that's branching out. That's it. So I've drawn the backbone, I've drawn the carbon structure, okay, of the molecule. Now I'm going to add in the functional groups, and the functional groups are uh, on the first carbon atom there's a carboxylic acid. So add the carboxylic acid. I say it's much easier if you draw the angles as 120 degrees, like fan shaped. Every carbon atom, like if there's a fourth bond, if you have to show a fourth bond, that would be kind of slightly like a tetrahedral arrangement. Okay. Uh, but this is generally how it's used. It doesn't really matter. Like this carbon atom is going upwards. It can be plotted going downwards. Okay, that's completely irrelevant. Okay, I told you this is not the three-dimensional formula. The formula just shows you how the atoms are connected together. Okay, so if you're taking the carbon atom over here, it doesn't really matter. It's not actually, in reality, it's not actually going to be pointing here. You're just showing the connectivity. I said the first carbon atom, that's a carboxylic acid. The second one, I mean, there's no functional group on both these carbon atoms. The third one has an OH. So I'm going to put an OH group over there. And the last one has another functional group, which is a carboxylic acid again. So there's going to be double bond O and OH. Okay. The carbon atoms are not going to be shown at all cost. So is this clear? Bhaskar, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Brar, is this clear?
Sir, yes, sir. But I have a question. Sir, why didn't we make continued that zigzag line from the third carbon atom instead of drawing a straight vertical line?
No, you can go and do that. It doesn't really matter.
Acha, all right.
ठीक है मतलब the point is मैंने यही बताया कि when you have a structural formula, the structural formula doesn't actually tell you the actual मतलब this is tetrahedral. It doesn't ये तो मतलब the molecule doesn't actually look like this. ठीक है?
Exactly.
मतलब अगर मैं इसको if I want to draw the three-dimensional arrangement of these three carbon atoms, then it's probably going to look like this. It would be tetrahedral. Tetrahedral mein one of the bonds would be coming out of the page, one would be going into the page, then there would be one that would be pointing upwards. 109.5 degrees angles only, right? Do you get my point?
Yes, sir, exactly.
Okay. So the point is, okay, this formula, any structural formula, we did 3 types of structural formulas. We did a fully displayed formula, जहाँ पे सारे bonds show करते हो. We did a condensed version, and we did skeletal formulas. All 3, they just show you which atom is connected to which atom. They don't show you कि direction of the bond किधर है. ठीक है? For example, this OH over here, ये बिल्कुल नीचे. I mean, this OH is, I mean, what this shows you is that the OH is connected to the last carbon atom. If I had drawn this OH like this, it would still be the same thing. ठीक है? Is this clear, Ibrar?
जी sir, सही.
अच्छा, so this is your skeletal formula. Or अभी whatever we're going to do, we're going to practice all 3. ठीक है? We're going to continue to practice all 3 formulas. Skeletal formulas, condensed versions, and your fully displayed versions. ठीक है?
Sir, by the way, are we still in the 4th chapter, chemical bonding?
No, we have started the organic chemistry chapter. ठीक है? अच्छा, remember organic chemistry. ठीक है? Remember organic chemistry has nothing to do with all the other chapters. ठीक है? I mean,
Sir, तुमने पिछला सारा कर चुके हम?
नहीं, वो नहीं वो भी हम करेंगे, अभी तो ऑर्गेनिक करें. ऑर्गेनिक इज नॉट कनेक्टेड टू.
Acha, so you basically started organic first and then you will cover up those chapters.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली ठीक है. बस जिनका मिस
Acha,
होगा
acha.
उनका वो कवर अप कर लेंगे. ऑर्गेनिक
Hmm.
इसलिए क्योंकि ऑर्गेनिक इज 40%. ठीक है, ऑर्गेनिक इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स. बाकी जो है ना जैसे
Hmm.
केसी केपी वो 1 वीक के चैप्टर्स हैं. ठीक है, यू हैव आइडियल गैसेस, दैट्स अ वेरी टाइनी चैप्टर. एनर्जेटिक्स है थोड़ा सा
Hmm.
बड़ा. बट मोस्ट ऑफ द अदर चैप्टर्स फिजिकल केमिस्ट्री के खास तौर पे वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग रिलेटेड होते हैं, उसके अंदर इतना कंटेंट नहीं होता. But
Hmm.
organic is big, and organic is 40% of your paper, sometimes even greater than that. That is mostly organic, okay? And organic
Sure,
has,
sorry.
and organic has pretty much nothing to do with the rest of the chapters, okay? So usko independently आप पढ़ सकते हो. अच्छा, now continuing with this, now we're going to do something which is called naming organic compounds, okay? And we're going to try and draw the same 3 formulas over and over again. अच्छा, now नहीं बल्कि before even naming, okay, isomers, should we do isomers first or should we do naming first? uh, naming करते हैं पहले. ठीक है, let's start with naming. अच्छा, now naming is kind of very important. अच्छा, naming के ऊपर you're not going to get more than a 1 mark question. But everything depends on naming. Like if the whole question is about a reaction of 2-methyl propene and you don't know what 2-methyl propene is, then you won't be able to do the whole question. Okay? So direct questions on naming are very few, and they can't be more than 1 mark. But the whole question actually depends on naming. As so naming. First thing is remember the counting that if you remember O levels, it's it's based on the number of carbon atoms. Okay, that's if you have a very simple molecule, it's based on the number of carbon atoms. So 1 is meth, 2 is eth, 3 इसी तरह is prop, 4 would be bute, pent, then you have hex, and 7 is hept, and oct, non, dec, 8 is oct, 9 is non, and finally किधर चला गया, and 9, and then you have 10, which is dec. Now this is going to be your prefix for your main chain. बाद में देखते हैं कि main chain क्या होता है. ठीक है, ठीक है. Prefix means it's going to be the starting name. Forget what the main chain is. We're going to stick to simple molecules first. And when you talk about naming, there's a thing called the IUPAC nomenclature. I said there's a thing called the IUPAC nomenclature. Well, it's an official body that actually decides IUPAC. Okay? It's an official body that decides how to name organic compounds. Okay? Because human beings are dealing a lot with organic compounds. Okay? Coronavirus is an organic compound. All living organisms, all medicines, all viruses, everything is organic. Okay? So naming is kind of very important. But there's one thing wrong with naming because the problem is molecules, you can create rules for naming, but the new rules can only apply to simple molecules because molecules can become very complicated and they can be very large. Okay, for example, the human skin is like one interconnected uh, carbon atoms all connected together. Okay, so that's a very complicated structure. So you can't name all organic molecules. The nomenclature and the rules are going to fail at a certain point. उसके बाद after that what you have your generic names. ठीक है, for example in medicines you must have heard generic names. ठीक है, so they don't follow IUPAC nomenclature. They just have completely random names. ठीक है, like Panadol is a medicine, it's not derived from the IOPAC nomenclature. Somebody just started calling a molecule Panadol, probably a medicine company, and this or paracetamol, and that is what the name is. So for simple molecules, the nomenclature applies, but for very complex, complicated molecules, the nomenclature pretty much fails, and the rules fail because of the complexity. Acha, so we're going to start with the very, very simple molecule and the first one. Okay? And I'm going to stick to straight chain molecules, which you did in O levels. Okay? Initially I'm going to stick with the first straight chain molecules. Then we're going to deal with more complicated molecules. So straight chain molecules. The first one are your alkanes. Okay, that's number one. Okay, that's number one, and that's very familiar as well. What's an alkane? It's a saturated hydrocarbon. Okay, we're going to learn how to name a saturated hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon means that it only contains carbon and hydrogen atoms, and that's it. And saturated means all bonds are going to be single bonds. Okay, the general formula of an alkane is CnH2n plus 2, where N is the number of carbon atoms. Acha, but that's the general formula. N is the number of carbon atoms. But it doesn't really work in most cases. Uh, so remember, from now on, the general formulas are kind of irrelevant. Okay? They don't really work most of the time. But I can show you an example. For example, I have an alkane of with 4 carbon atoms. General formulas only work for very, very simple molecules. And in A levels, we won't be dealing with simple molecules, which is why the general formula fails. Actually, the general formula is going to work for this molecule. It's 4 carbon atoms, it's an alkane, it's a saturated hydrocarbon. All bonds are single bonds. Carbon is 4. So H would be 4 into 2 plus 2, that's going to be 10. You can count the hydrogens, there are 10 hydrogens in this molecule. So the general formula is working. But what if you have a cyclic compound where you have 4 carbon atoms and so you have 4 carbon atoms and it's a saturated molecule, which means all carbon atoms are forming 4 single bonds. Now, this is also an alkane, but over here the formula is C4H8. Okay, so the general formula doesn't work, even though it's an alkane. Is this clear? Rida, Hiba, Minahil, is this clear? Baza clear? Abba, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so just remember, don't take general formulas very seriously from now on. O levels, you did take them very seriously, but now don't take them that seriously. Most of the time, they're not going to work. This is an alkane. You know what an alkane is. The suffix for an alkane is going to be ane. So if I have 4 carbon atoms, this one would be called butane. Or if it's a cyclic structure, it would be called cyclobutane. Well, it's still butane. It has 4 carbon atoms, but the carbon atoms are arranged in a cyclic manner, so it's cyclobutane. But anyways, you have ethane would be. What would ethane be? How many carbon atoms? You look at the number of carbon atoms, that's 2. So ethane is going to have a total of 2 carbon atoms. And since it's an ane, it's an alkane, so saturated, it would be a saturated molecule. Okay? So is alkanes clear? Baza, is this clear? Ibrar?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. So remember, I'm doing the simplest molecules, simplest straight chain molecules. Complexity, we're not dealing with complexity at the moment. Okay? We'll do that later. The second one are alkenes. Now, alkenes are unsaturated hydrocarbons. Okay? Now we're going to deal with a bit of complexity. Okay? So you have unsaturated hydrocarbons, which means they have a functional group. A functional group is a group of atoms or a structure that defines the chemical properties of a homologous series. So it's going to have this thing, and at least one of them. The general formula again, it's CnH2n, but again, most of the time it doesn't really do anything. Okay? It's not very helpful. So that's the functional group carbon double bond carbon. And you can have alkenes. Now, there would be two issues. One is position of the double bond. Where is the double bond? Has to be mentioned. So, as an example, let's talk about propene. Now, how many carbon atoms would it have? TK, if you, I'm going to write this suffix over here. That the suffix is obviously "ene." The name is going to end with "ene." So I have a propene molecule. Propene is prop is 3 carbon atoms. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And since it's an "ene," there has to be this double bond somewhere. So it could be over here, or it could be on the other carbon atoms. Mujhe batao, does it make a difference? Are these two?
No.
Okay, these two things are exactly the same. Remember, I told you when you're drawing formulas, कि, rotating it or flipping it or bending it would not change the molecule. It's the same exact arrangement. Like if I pick this up and I start rotating it and I put it the other way around, they're basically the same thing. Okay, it was just a flipped around version. Anyways, you have propene. So there's only one version of propene. No matter where you put the double bond, you're going to get the same propene. So you don't have to worry about the position of the double bond in a propene molecule. Okay, both whether you had put it over here or you had put it over here, you would have gotten the same molecule. But when you move to butene, okay, let's say I have a butene molecule. So when you move to butene, now you have 4 carbon atoms. That's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, but means 4 carbon atoms, and ene means there's going to be a double bond. So the double bond could be over here. The double bond could be between the second and the third carbon atom, or the double bond could be at the end. Majutha, which two arrangements are exactly the same?
First and
Sir,
last.
exactly.
The first and the last, they're just flipped around versions of each other. So isko hata dete hain. So basically you have two versions of butene. So it could either be, ene would either be on the first, put in all the hydrogens. Okay, it'll be, I'm going to add all the. I said now these two molecules are inherently different. They're different structures. Okay, they don't look the same. No matter how many times you rotate it, they're basically inherently different. I said the first one. How would you differentiate the two? Remember that before ene, you're going to create a gap and you're going to write the position. Okay, the second one is but to ene. So how do you figure out the position of the double bond? Double bond position So the double bond position is counted from the side that gives the smaller number. From the side that gives the smaller number. Okay, so the position is going to be written. So it's the way you're going to write it is you're going to write the prefix. That's the number of carbon atoms. In the middle, you're going to write the position, and at the end, you're going to write ene. Okay, sorry this. So it's going to be prefix, position, and then ene. And this rule would be followed for all the other functional groups that have an issue with positions. Okay, it's not just alkenes. Any functional group, almost all functional groups, the position has to be mentioned. Like you have to know where the OH is. You have to know where the NH2 is attached. So the position has to be mentioned for pretty much all the functional groups. Apart from the first one, alkanes, well, they don't have a functional group. So us case mein you don't have to write a position. But not only for alkenes, for every other compound before the suffix, you mention the position. So this one is butanene because it's on the first carbon atom. This one is butene because it's on the second carbon atom. Okay. Clear? Abba, is this clear? Bhaskar, Rida, Hiba,
Yeah.
Minahil.
Yes.
Okay. So, but right now, revise this thoroughly. Because it's going to get complicated very quickly. Okay, when we go towards complicated molecules, so make sure you meth, eth, prop, but, etc. This is all O levels. Make sure the simple naming is on your tips. Okay. Chalo, we'll continue tomorrow then. Okay then.
Chalo, officer.
Take care. Allah Hafiz.